Hey, my name is Callum, and 4 months ago I had a simple and stupid idea. Add an intro cutscene to my game. Today I'm here to explain how that idea spiraled into months of chaos, several 3D struggles, multiple restarts, and an interview with a Critics' Choice Award nominee production designer. Let's start at the beginning. Amazon is a 3D arcade game about delivering boxes as fast as possible in a dystopian warehouse run by pigs. And what you may not know is that it is partially inspired by Sorry to Bother You, a movie I fell in love with while starting this project. So naturally, I want to include at least one big solid reference to this movie, and why not make it something I've never done before, a cutscene intro. I don't want it to just be any intro. I want it to be something long and complex to set the tone. A worker signing a contract, corporate ads on the TV, several references to the movie, all while I've never done animation before. I didn't start out with solid plans for the cutscene, but I knew I wanted the player to watch ads, similar to a scene in Sorry to Bother You, so I needed a living room. The couch, cabinets, door, floor, and walls all came pretty easily. But once I added it to the game, it was clearly missing something. I'll come back to this later. Next up, I wrote down a more concrete script for what the cutscene would be and included several direct references to Sorry to Bother You. But I needed far more models. I modeled a desk, monitor, pencils, keyboard, mouse, plant, table, plate, donuts, doors, TV, and was exhausted, but at least the living room was complete. Then came the hallway. In Sorry to Bother You, the ad appears to use an actual prison hallway, but it's dressed up to look a little bit more cozy. I liked this idea, but converted it instead to mimic a luxury Norwegian prison. The modeling and texturing went well, but I hit a hurdle. I put picture frames on the walls, and seeing that I couldn't just leave them blank, I attempted to add my own drawings. Unfortunately, I am terrible with art, and after a solid 20 minutes of attempts, I gave up. I'll look for a backup plan later. Next up, I made a living quarters. I drew inspiration from the Sorry to Bother You ad and this picture of a kid's bunking bed. I like how it looks, but again, we have a picture frame with no picture. And this is where I developed my master plan. Did you know that the British Library digitizes all of its art and exhibits, and they're completely free to use off of Flickr? Anyway, I stole several pictures and slapped them in. After, I added a small outside scene for the hallway windows, and this is the final look of everything. My next hurdle was the animation, the worst part, the part I dreaded with every ounce of my being. I've never really animated anything before, and suddenly I have to put together a solid 2.5-minute intro with camera angles, lighting, dialogue, etc. Then there was Jeff, the pig salesman who I wanted to hand the contract over to the player. This was one of the most frustrating obstacles yet. I struggle heavily with art in general, but especially modeling. In my mind, I can perfectly imagine what I want and think, this will take 20 minutes, but I get stuck. Do I extrude this edge? Use a different shape? Subdivide? Mess with the edges? The vertices? My brain would scream, it should look like this, but my hands would create something different. No matter how many different ways I tried, how many hours I spent, I could not for the life of me make a pig model. I took breaks, lots of them. Compounded by this were several struggles trying to find reliable voice actors for the project. After weeks of this, I was ready to scrap the entire intro, but then Jason Kisvarde's interview happened. Halfway through this whole mess, I got an email back. Jason Kisvarde, the production designer behind Sorry to Bother You, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and many, many, many other things, agreed to an interview. And I'll be honest, I'm a computer science student now, but I originally wanted to study film. Movies like Good Will Hunting and Sorry to Bother You inspire me. This was a huge moment for me. During the interview, I asked Jason everything. He broke down the practical effects I've been obsessed with, like the desks dropping into the room and their apartment changing.
I think with just fishing line, we pulled the shade apart, and then just somebody was sitting below it and puppeteered the lampshades taller. And again, because it's so quick and it's just 1 second long, you look at it and go, the lamp, it just grew taller. It's like, no, it was always just a.
He gave personal advice for designing and even shared his super secret project management system that I intend to copy. But you'll have to watch the interview to see it. The wild part of this whole story is that I got it from a single polite email. No connections, no fancy pitch. I was just a random college student saying, "Hey, your movies inspired me. Can we chat?" And it worked. After this interview, I really couldn't give up. I would have felt genuinely horrible if he took the time out of his incredibly busy schedule for me and it led to nothing. I went back to Jeff and I remembered an old silly solution I did in the past. While making 1,000 rooms, my modeling abilities were even worse than now. And I couldn't find good 3D models online to use, so instead I made a fairy character that was just yellow particles that floated. Anyway, here's Jeff. He's made of smoke, but he has eyes and eyebrows. Funny enough, this was actually an extremely useful solution, as you'll see later on. Next up, I scrapped the voice actors. Only one voice will be used, and it'll be mine for convenience sake. But how will you have Jeff and the players converse, Callum, you ask? And it's simple. A small text dialogue system that I made 20 plus times in my game dev career. Just like that, most of my problems were over and I could go back to simple stuff. I coded a simple drawing system so the player could sign the contract and wrote a funny but official looking contract for the game. Then I added the contract to the cutscene, which required very little animation since I didn't need to have it handed over to the player with hands, just a small smoke cloud. The lack of hand animation probably saved me a week, to be honest. Now I need to create some fake ads to display on the TV. I just used free assets off Pixabay. It wasn't bad. Then, my final problem was attempting for hours to correctly convert the MP4 videos into the correct format for Godot without heavy glitches. Yeah, it was bad. But finally, after months of work, headaches, and far more trouble than this was worth, I have this. Here at Amazon, we have a revolutionary new business and lifestyle model that is taking the world by storm. If you sign a Amazon contract, you'll be worry-free for the rest of your life. You're guaranteed a lifetime contract, free housing, consistent work, and a meal plan. Amazon couriers are fulfilling, and you can rest easy knowing everything is being taken care of for you. Give us a call and sign up today. So, what did I learn? Scope creep is an illness, and I fell victim to it this time. The intro adds functionally nothing to the game. It doesn't add gameplay, it sort of adds lore, but who cares? Honestly, it was just a bad use of time. But I got through it, and I'm going to learn my lesson this time. From now on, I'll enforce hard limits on everything I do, and make sure I stay strict to what's necessary to the game. Thank you for watching this devlog, and don't forget to check out my interview with Jason Kisvarde. To everyone who waited these 4 months, thank you. I'll try and make sure future videos come out in a timely manner. You can like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and let me know any suggestions you have. I'll read all the comments. But once again, thank you for watching.